Hello, Tycoon Online. This is Jay Chen, and I'm back with another video. In today's video, I want to talk about the ever-daunting question of why is the price of my good dropping? Notice how there's the exclamation mark first, and then the question, because people are first angry, and then they ask the question. So let's start with that. All right. So why is the price dropping? Okay, so Tycoon Online is based off of a supply economy. So if you go to the trends page right over here on the right, it's lagging, yes, excellent. And then you click calculation of market prices, you will see the prediction that will happen at midnight. Okay, so what this means, quite simply, is that if a good is overproduced, then it will go down at midnight. If it is underproduced, then it will go up. And that is simply it. That's it. If people are producing not enough bread, for example, then the price of bread is going to go up. People are overproducing alcohol, so therefore the price of alcohol is going to go down. And that is why price changes. So it is based off how much people produce and not how much is sold or bought on the market. Okay, so that's the answer. However, I know that most people who ask this question feel very cheated by this answer, because this doesn't actually answer what they want, and the reason why is because they're not actually asking the right question. The question that everybody actually wants to ask is, why are people producing X good, right? Why are people overproducing wheat? I'm producing lots of wheat. Why are lots of people making lots of wheat as well? That's the real question that people want to ask, but somehow I don't think people are actually asking that question. So now we have a different question, and unfortunately I don't have a mathematical proof for why people are producing certain goods, but I do have a hypothesis, and I want to go over that today. So let's take a look at some things. Let's take a look at the market. Click on what's for sale, and you can see there's a good amount of goods. Now let's look at some of these numbers. There's only 80 flour. It's relatively low. Versus, I don't know, fresh fish, which is 66,000, some odd amount of fresh fish, right? So if you think about it this way, if you try to ask the question, why are people producing a lot of wheat? Well, I mean, maybe they can't find wheat. I mean, that seems like a reasonable answer. It's not. You can't say it's obvious, right? Because maybe they can find wheat, maybe they can't. I mean, just because right now I click for sale and there is no wheat on the market. There's some sausage. All right. But anyways, so that could be a good reason. If you think about it, people are producing a good because they can't get it themselves. Right? I would say that that's pretty reasonable. If we look at another trend, go to trends, sales on the market. Let's take a look at yesterday's column, go down to wheat. So yesterday there was 112,000 wheat sold on the market. A little more than that. Doesn't matter who's counting, right? So there's definitely people making wheat, and there's definitely people buying wheat. Okay, so keep that in mind. So that's why when we click for sale, there's still no wheat. Ah, man, this is really frustrating, right? No wheat, right? So now you can think about it this way. Compare wheat, which is not on the market at the moment, to fresh fish, which has always been on the market since almost the beginning of the round. Let's go back to our trends and take a look at the sales on the market. All right, go back to sales on the market. We look at fresh fish, and we see that yesterday there was 50,000 fresh fish sold. So obviously it's not anywhere close to wheat at 112,000, but I mean that's the difference in level of good. If you didn't really catch on before, right, you have 2 fresh fish makes 1 frozen fish, and frozen fish gets sold in a shop, whereas wheat goes into alcohol and flour then goes to bread. So there needs to be a lot more wheat produced than fish for everything to even out. So obviously this number is going to be higher, but it should actually be a lot higher than this if it were, a perfect market in a sense. But anyways, that's not really my point. My point is, so there's fish being sold on the market and there's wheat being sold on the market, but fish is always available and wheat is not always available, right? So that could lead people to produce their own wheat, right? And if you only sign on to Tycoon Online, twice a day, but as soon as you wake up before you go to work, you maybe go on there, maybe you check during your lunch break, and that's it. Um, you don't really have a lot of time to be clicking for sale all the time and hoping that bread shows up on the market. um, but, or sorry, so you're hoping that wheat shows up on the market, whatever other good you're looking for, right? So you just make your own. That's perfectly reasonable to believe that, right? So that's one reason. Another reason is, well, what about what people can physically produce, right? There's actually a unique logistics problem. If you go to your zones, I'm just going to purchase zones just to see the map. You can go click on any the zones. I'm gonna click on this one. This one is 88. See this? Well, you gotta look at this number. It'll show up. It's 88 available. So there's 88% of the zones are available. So it's a pretty open zone. If you look at this, there's plenty of roadside zones. So whatever I want to build, I could probably fit it in, somewhere. But sometimes during the rounds, there aren't a lot of zones that are available. Let's go to a different zone. We can see this one's 37, 35, 49. Okay, let's look at this one. This one's 49. Okay, so if you look at this, right, if this was like what your city looks like, you might be like, man, what can I build, right? I could build like a square thing here. So I may build a pig farm or a slaughterhouse. I could build something here, right? I think. And if it weren't for this forest, I could build like a quarry here. There's something that fits here. I forget which one. I don't remember exactly. Anyways, but so as you can see, you're sort of limited to what roadside zones you have, right? And you might feel compelled to build something that you can put on the road instead of putting something out here where you don't get the road bonus, right? So that's another hypothesis, especially early in the round when people are building kind of quickly and the roadside zones like go off, to first person like just really quickly, right? And you see like right here, like I can only build like a gas shop here. That's it. So that could be something, right? That's something to think about. The last thing to think about is what are like if you were to decide to make fresh fish right now, but there's 66,000. Like it's gonna take you forever to sell your fresh fish. Not really forever, since there was 50,000 sold yesterday. There's 66,000, so it's gonna take you like a day and like a couple hours to sell your fresh fish. So if you're in the so that does deter people from making fresh fish, and that makes sense, right? If you compare that to some of the other goods, like well, look, there's 11 cotton, right? If you make cotton right now, you could probably sell it really easily, within 2 hours, right? So all those things, I think, contribute to whether or not a good is overproduced, right? Something else that I do want to share. Where was it? Go to trends, and where is it? Calculation of market prices. No. Oh no, it's in prices. Sorry, over here by the market prices. And let's look at the history of all the goods. This is the graph of all the goods and their price history ranked and categorized by like their family of goods. So this is all the wood, fish, stone, wheat, pigs, oil, and cotton. Oh, I forgot to mention, you cannot see this price history unless you are a gold member. So take screenshots right now. Hurry. All right, never mind. Okay. So let's take a look at some differences. One thing I want to point out while you're looking at this graph is notice that these numbers are different here on the y-axis. So, for example, the wood family, they usually end up really high at around 150. So therefore, the top number is 160. Whereas the fish family doesn't usually go up so high, and the top number is 50. So that's why fish looks like it has like a bigger up and down, just because the axes are different. So keep that in mind when you're reading graphs. Anyways, so what I want to point out is that you can see some of these price histories, and there are some that should really surprise you. For example, if you look at fish, that frozen fish came really, really close to the price of fresh fish, which shouldn't happen. Emphasis on the should not happen, right? Because it takes 2 fresh fish to make 1 frozen fish. So why would you spend $10, right? Or I don't know what the price is over here. I think the price here is at 10. So what? So I think. Hold on a second. Let's get a ruler. Let's use this as a ruler. Line it up. Yeah. Okay. So like right about here. Why would you spend $20, right, buying 2 fish to make 1 frozen fish that you could? I guess that's like 11. That you would sell at 11 or 12. I don't know what the actual number is. But either way, you're not making a profit. You're actually losing a lot of money doing that. But still, somehow people kept producing frozen fish. They just kept doing it. It went up a little bit, and then people were like, oh no, gotta make more frozen fish, and it just went back down. Right? So why is that? Well, if you look at the market trends, actually, right? Like I said, since the beginning of the round, there has been a lot of fresh fish available. So, you know, when people look at what they can do, they see that there's a lot of fresh fish, and so they're just like, well, maybe I'll make frozen fish, right? It's not logical. It's not rational, especially at those prices. However, given their restrictions in terms of what they can buy in the market, what zones that are available to them, you know, that could be a reason. It's like I said, I don't have any hard proof of this. This seems to be a more of a social economic reason. Oh, look, there's wheat. Sorry. And so therefore, I don't have any proof of this. But that's one of my hypotheses, is that people produce goods based on what's convenient to them. Based off of their city. So your city would be different from my city, right? Let's just take a look at the Philadelphia downtown area. See what's happening. Right. If you look around, look, there's some spots for harbors. So it's like, and really, like, what's the only thing you could build here? Well, you could build a clinic or a liquor sales shop, right? And some harbors. That's it, right? That's all you can build. You can't build a toy. What's this called? Toy store? Yeah, toy store here. Sorry. Right. If you go to the next Philly zone, you got like the same problem here. You can build a harbor here if you wanted to. I guess you could also build an auto repair shop as well, right? So your options are sort of limited by what spaces are available, and so I think people do build what's available, even though it might not be optimal. Sometimes you just, you know, if you want to do something, because it's better to do something with your money than nothing. Look at all the money that I'm doing nothing with. You know, it's people will build things, and it might not be logical. It might not be rational. You might just keep tearing your hair out as like. Hold on a second. Let's add a few more exclamation marks, right? Oh, that's too many. All right, you know. But that is what happens. That is my hypothesis. I keep emphasizing that because I like to have proof. I like to have numbers for my reasonings. Unfortunately, for this one, I do not. But because of that, I want to open that up to the community. I want to hear your opinion. So, what do you think of my hypothesis? Right? Do people produce goods because it is convenient, or because they can, and they don't produce the ones because they just can't? Right? Because of either they one, can't get the goods off the market. 2, they don't have the correct zones for that building. And 3, they don't want to produce it because it's already so many on the market and they can't sell it fast enough, so therefore they're not going to produce it. Which is, I guess, slightly similar to the first reason. But, so that's my hypothesis. I want to know what you guys think. So, you know, leave a comment. I notice I don't really read the YouTube comments, so maybe leave a comment in the forums, and we can talk about that, and we'll see how that goes. All right, guys, happy tycooning!